Well, I was thinking the other day about inflation and how bad the economy is, and how so many people are struggling. And I got to thinking, how much of it do we bring on ourselves? Uh, when you drive down the road, you just see 60, 70, 80, $90,000 vehicles constantly. You go to a Walmart parking lot and it's just lined up with four-door pickups, four-wheel drive. You can't get one of them for less than $70,000 brand new. Uh, and there's a lot of new ones out there. And then you drive through neighborhoods and you see these new houses. They're all, around here, $350,000 to $500,000 homes are kind of normal. And I know there are a lot more in other parts of the country. I mean, I'm actually, out here in the Midwest where things are a little cheaper than a lot of places. And I know guys that, every time you talk to them, hey, I ate out here, I ate out there, and, they're always eating out. I remember growing up and my dad made a decent living. He made a good living and supported us well, but we didn't eat out much. My mother got a new car every 10 years, and typically it was close to a base model car. She might have got a couple options, power steering. It had a radio in it. My dad usually upgraded the radio himself to a AM FM and put 4 speakers in. I remember him doing that. He would make little octagon wooden boxes and put them in the corners and then put 2 speakers in the back, and maybe put a fader in so it had, pretty good music in it. But that was a car every 10 years she got. And he always drove some kind of old little car. It's funny because back then he drove a lot of Fiats, and Fiats were considered, kind of pieces of junk, but he liked keeping them running, I guess. He even hopped a couple of them up. I'm getting off track though. My point is he made a good living and he didn't throw that money around. We lived in a modest house. It was a nice house. It was a good house, but nothing fancy, a small lot, 1-car garage. Now, everybody lives in a fancy house with a 3-car garage, and then they build a shop next to it, and then they park their 4-door pickup in there, and the wife has an SUV that costs $80,000, and everybody complains about the economy. Well, when all you're doing is spending money and getting in debt up to your eyebrows constantly, no matter how good the economy is, you're going to be, scraping for money. Even if the economy is good and you spend money like that, you're going to have trouble. People. It doesn't seem like people try to even save money. They don't even try. They live on the edge of their means. I see so many guys get a job and say 3 or 4 years later get another job making, say, $10 more an hour. They allocate that extra $10 an hour out. As soon as they get, they're immediately, they got it figured. Oh yeah, I can get this and I can afford this a month. And my point is most people are their own worst enemy. Okay, yeah, the economy is a little bit bad now, but they make it a hell of a lot worse, when you got to live at the edge of your means. And I don't think it's necessarily everybody's fault. I think it's the way we're brought up, the way we've been indoctrinated into the world. It's normal. Debt is normal, and it didn't used to be. Debt used to be, you stayed away from it. It was unless you had to get into it. And now it's just normal. I mean, and it's getting more and more normal. Now there's talk of 50-year mortgages. I see people buying pickups with 8, 9, 10-year notes on them. That's insane. To get an 8-year or 9-year loan on a vehicle that depreciates as fast as all of them do, that it doesn't matter what you get, they all depreciate very quickly. I mean, you're digging a hole. In other words, you're making a bad economy worse, and all you're doing is feeding the banks and the people that thrive on you. I mean, it's pushed to borrow. I mean, it's not just cars, it's not just houses. It's what was I looking at the other day? Oh crap, I can't even think about it. It was just something that I think it cost $200 and something, and there's a payment plan to get it. There's a payment plan to get anything you want. You don't have to be able to afford anything, because there is a payment plan for all of it. And what people don't realize, they get their house, they get their car, and they're tight on money. Well, hey, yeah, let's get that, I'll just say TV set on a payment plan. Of course, TVs are getting kind of cheap now. But I wish I could remember what it was I saw the other day that I was looking at. It might have been some tools. I look at tools a lot. But there was a payment plan for it. It wasn't that expensive. It was a couple, maybe $229, but they had a payment plan to get it. I mean, if you can't afford something that costs $229, don't buy it. Or get on Marketplace, see if you can find a used one. When you start doing payment plans, and then you got a mortgage, and you got a car payment, not to mention the insurance for the car that's new, and our state, personal property taxes, which are through the roof for if you have a late model vehicle. What I'm thinking is, the economy's bad, but a lot of it's our own fault. We could learn to live within our means a lot better than we do. I've taken drastic steps the last 20 years. In fact, I don't borrow anything. If I can't afford it, I just don't get it. And it's worked out well. I like it. It's. I used to buy a lot of new vehicles and stuff, and I'll tell you what, I got kind of like where you're not working to get ahead, you're working to keep up. You're working to keep up with what you bought instead of get ahead. I mean, you should be working to get ahead in life. Get some money in the bank, and if a good land deal comes up, you got cash for it. You can use that as an investment or some other kind of investment. But you start buying all this new stuff on loans, and now it's like, hey, I gotta keep up with this. Oh, coming up again. God forbid you get hurt, get in some kind of accident, something happens, and you miss some payments, and then you're just basically at scratch, starting all over again. In any case, I just wanted to put this out there, so maybe people that are living on the edge will think about it and try to get themselves dug out. And I'll tell you what, not having debt and maybe not having the fanciest stuff around, I've got to where I don't care what most people don't care what you have anyway. And you could go buy a new Mustang GT, or well, you can't buy a Challenger SRT anymore, but they $60,000-$70,000, and you had something that was like outrageously fun. Actually, kind of outrageously get you in trouble real quick, but You can buy a lot of older vehicles for 1/3 that money that'll give you the same thrill. You'll be able to fix yourself because these new vehicles, if there are certain things I don't care how good a mechanic is, you can't touch them. In fact, that's a big thing going on now. Is a lot of the mechanics are getting pushed out because they're putting modules on these cars that have to be keyed in, and they're trying to get it where they take that away from regular mechanics. Unless you work at a dealership, that's the only way it's going to get done. And they're trying to get the cars where they only go to the dealerships. So I mean, there's a lot of disadvantages to that. And like I said, there's older vehicles. If you want to have a hot rod or something fun to drive, you can buy a 2000s, early 2000s Corvette. Is it as fast as one of those? Not quite, but it probably handles better. It's a lot lighter. It's a fast car. It's fast enough for the street, and you'll have fun. You'll enjoy it, and you'll be able to fix it, and it won't cost an arm and a leg, and you won't be at the mercy of a dealership. But I'm getting off track talking about cars. The point of this video is to get out of debt and live within your means, because I think we are, a lot of this is our own fault, is what's happening with the economy. We spend like crazy and then wonder why we're broke. Well, yeah, some of it's the economy, but if all you do is spend every penny you get, a lot of it's your own fault too. And we, like I said, we're brought up this way. We're indoctrinated into this system, but that doesn't mean we have to be part of it. You don't have to be part of it. Think for yourself. Try to open up your mind and think for yourself. You'll enjoy the freedom of being debt free. It's definitely exhilarating. I just hope it's food for thought and it helps somebody. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.